So the head of NASA, their new boss appointed by Trump, wants private companies to take over the International Space Station. What could go wrong with this? How could private companies running a space station use that for evil, greedy needs? It's not like NASA is all about exploration and scientific research and discovery and learning about the universe and space travel. No, let's just get corporations up there taking care of it. This is at CNBC.com. This was reported by Michael Sheets Tuesday, June 5th. And of course, in accordance with perfect corporate media, there's no questioning of this. It's just reporting it like a baseball game. It's really just the facts. Oh, this pitcher lasted 5 2/3 innings, and then he gave up a home run. And this guy was called out. This guy went 1 for 4. That's how they report it. There's no questioning from the corporate media of like, wait a minute. I know we've had private development companies and research laboratories have been involved in space exploration since it began, but now NASA's just like, everything's up for sale. The NASA administrator, Jim Bridenstine, is advancing presidential Donald Trump's proposal that private companies take over operations of the International Space Station, according to the Washington Post. Boy, the Post, big watchdogs. Big watchdogs, the Washington Post. This guy became the administrator of NASA in April. And he told the Post he has spoken to many large corporations that are interested in getting involved in the flying lab through a consortium, if you will. Consortium's a nice corporate term for deep state. We're in a position now where there are people out there that can do commercial management of the International Space Station. There's no way this is good intention. It's got to be for spying and profit and war. There's no way it's for anything other than that. Like, they want to put rockets up in space. This is when Reagan was pushing the Star Wars program. He declined to specify which companies he had spoken to. Boeing was selected in August of '93 as NASA's primary contractor to develop and build the International Space Station. Boeing is tracking these developments as it works with NASA on future developments, according to the company's corporate blah, 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 blah. We're working with all the entire commercial situation, the needs of both the station and the market. Oh, the marketplace. That's what space exploration is about, the marketplace. Now, many products that were, or many things that were designed for astronauts became like, oh, there's a commercial use for this. Tang was the thing from when I was a kid, right? Products like that or whatever. So that's what you do. You develop, but this should be for science and research and the furthering of the human race into space. And maybe there's technology that can be developed that can help reverse climate change, which will destroy all life on planet Earth. Or maybe they just want to build some rich asshole space station up there that they can just go piss on everybody who's choking to death in the decades to come. The report said nearly a third of NASA's $3.3 billion annual budget for the ISS is for operating costs. Boeing has reduced operating costs 30% over the last 10 years. Oh, that's the old, if we privatize it, it'll cost less. If we privatize prisons, it'll cost less. If we privatize aspects of the military, it'll cost less. That's their bullshit game, right? Dick Cheney, when he got Halliburton in, right? It used to be the food and latrines, the mess halls, all that stuff was handled by within the military. That was a job people could potentially have in the military. Dick Cheney got that all contracted out. And it didn't save more money. Instead of paying a soldier, some grunt, 30 grand a year to serve food or clean latrines, oh, now a Halliburton person gets paid $100,000 a year. KBR. I had a soldier tell me KBR stood for Keep Bush Rich. And of course, there's nothing from the corporate media. The Trump administration in February also proposed a $150 million program to build commercial platforms in orbit, hoping to incentivize private companies to develop alternative space stations. To date, only a few companies are working to build private space stations. Two, Bigelow Aerospace and NanoRacks, have hardware on the ISS, while the third, Axiom Space, is set to launch its first module in 2020. Each of these companies is building a habitable craft to continue humanity's presence in the low Earth orbit. Okay, space station. Yeah, I don't trust these people at all. And it's going to be like a science fiction movie where the super rich can live up in this space station while everyone else is down here fighting for drinkable water and breathable air. That's probably what they're setting themselves up for. I don't trust this at all. And this is the kind of shit that just flies in under the radar. You know, what are we worried about today? Stormy Daniels or Mueller investigation or what is it? Shithole country. What distraction of the day are we supposed to? Meanwhile, we're privatizing a space station. So if the Trump administration is wanting to privatize a space station, it's not for good reasons. It won't help you and I out in our daily lives. Not at all. Not at all. It shows you how there's some nefarious angle to this, which is probably just spying on us and taking control and whatever else. And some sort of exit strategy for the 1%ers when the planet collapses. And just pure greed, which the greed of these people, what's the end game? Like, you have surveillance on everybody, you have all the money and all the weapons and just always war. Like, none of this is sustainable. I know they have smart people working. None of this is sustainable. So I don't understand what their point, what the end game is this. Dominate the world, kill everybody, and then war, and then what? And then what? The planet's collapsing, the ecosystem is being, but you have now a golf course on your space station, Mar-a-Lago 2. Is that what this is? It's insanity. It's pure insanity, and the corporate media co-signs the whole thing. Thanks for watching the show, everybody. Ron Placone and I are going to do the Progressive Comedy Tour. It's coming near you, June 20th through the 24th. Nashville, Huntsville, Alabama, Asheville, North Carolina, Louisville, Kentucky, and Atlanta, Georgia. So some of those venues they're like, cool little intimate venues. So the tickets are going fast. I would go to GrahamElwood.com. The link is below and get your tickets. We're going to have progressive organizations there handing out information and the meet and greet after the show. You can hang out, talk to us, photos. We'll talk politics with you, get involved in these local organizations. Many of you are like, oh God, I live in a red state. There's no progressives anywhere. Yes, there are, and they're coming to the shows. You guys can meet. You can form your own communities as you've been doing online. So June 20th through the 24th, Progressive Comedy Tour, Leg 2. Go to GrahamElwood.com. Thanks for supporting the show.